Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. I'm just glad you guys are all here. Today I've got something really cool to share with you guys. Before I get into it, I do want to say thank you to all the channel members. Thank you, thank you. And I want to say thank you to anyone who comes in, finds their way in here, checks out the knife, the EDC content. I hope you find it entertaining. If you like it, I'd love it if you'd come back. If you're still inclined, please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon. It'll really help me out. So what this is an EMP EDC PULSE OTF. I picked up one last year after Blade Show. A little bit different design. It had a satin blade and it had this diagonal milling. But it's the first OTF that I brought into my collection, and I really, really like it. I like it because it's got a more utilitarian blade, so it actually cuts stuff. It's not just a pokey stabby knife, and I've really enjoyed it. They came, they went, and I was at Blade Show 2024, and I was over at EMP EDC table, and I saw this knife. This knife is part of the EMP EDC PULSE OTF run number 2. This run is going to drop this coming Friday, the 21st, at 10 a.m. Pacific. And I want to say these knives are right around $270, but they're going to offer several different variations of the original Wharncliffe. It's going to have a stonewash blade, which looks really nice, Magnacut. So you'll be able to choose the traditional Wharncliffe blade or the one I'm clamoring for, the new Bowie blade, which is what I wanted to focus on today. Guys, I try to stay plugged in with what John and Jamie are doing at EMP EDC. I had no idea this was being thought of or being considered, but what I can tell you is you've got a wonderful hollow ground flat section here, and then you've got this compound little clip Bowie tip. You've got the signature blade hole that you see in all EMP EDCs, and then you've got this nice fuller or blood groove that runs the length of the blade. I have opened and closed this close to 500 times. It gives no fatigue on my finger, does not fail. I love the frag aluminum handle. I was a big fan of this diagonal handle with the diagonal clip. I really like the frag. I think it looks nice. I think it goes with the knife very well. If you go to their website, which I'll leave links in this description, you'll see that they're going to be about 4 or 5 variations of each of these. They're doing some really cool things with some colors. They're of course going to offer some extra clips and things like that. But you're not just going to be a one and done, this is the color you get, this is what you get to pick. These are not the USA made versions or variants. These are the ones, if I'm not mistaken, they were, and I think still are, OEM by Best Tech. Whoever does the OEM work, the design is executed perfectly. And the design, guys, there's no side to side. There's no up and down. The knife is extremely comfortable in the hand because it's so neutral. You've got such a neutral handle, you don't even feel the clip. It is a therapeutic slicer. If you're just doing your urban EDC stuff. And then where it really shines is it's got this point that is very slicey. And it's also very pokey. Now my Wharncliffe was pokey in a different way, right? You had this little down pushing clip or down pushing blade, which is great for detail cuts. This to me ups the game a little bit to where I can still do my detail cuts, I can still do my utility cuts, but I've got an aggressive tip. I don't have a dagger tip because I'm not a big fan of daggers. That's just not my jam. I like a single bladed knife. That's why when I saw the first Pulse OTF, it really attracted me because it did not look like, except in its form and function, which I really do like, the fact that it basically can be deployed with the push and retracted with the push, but the blade is more what I might see in a typical folder that I might use for EDC work. Got jimping on the spine, which is really nice. Got a very nicely done sharpening choil here. A beautiful, I don't know if this would be called stone washed or tumbled, but I love the finish on it. There's some other variations, again, that you can look at in the link with some Ultim, some different materials. But I think this knife, the Pulse OTF Bowie, because it's different, is going to be a huge hit. I think they'll both sell out on Friday. That's why I wanted to get this review out. I'll try to get it out on Thursday or Friday because it's really just an overview. This is not my knife. This is EMP EDC's knife, so I'm going to be sending it back to them. So I'm not going to be hard using it, but I don't really hard use my knives that much anyway. So it's right over 7.5 inches. Let's get a look-see next to our shorter than our bug out by just a hair. Much shorter than our Sharpie. Let's look at it next to a PM2. I know it's going to be shorter than that. So guys, hopefully that's helpful. Almost bug out size for lack of better. It's much smaller than the PM2. Maybe an 1/8 or a 1/16 of an inch longer than the bug out. It's going to be a little thicker than the bug out because it's got the internal spring and mechanism, but that's fine. So we were at 7 1/4. Our blade length is going to be right under 3 1/4. We'll say 3 1/8. And our handle is going to come in right under 4 1/2. Where I grip it, which is right here. That way I've got my palm of my hand behind the retraction. So if I wanted to measure what I have in grip, you're right at 4 inches in the flat. You're 4 1/4 if you want your pinky to hang over here. I think pretty much you can get any size hand on this knife. Lastly, let's do a couple of, get an idea of what our blade thickness is. .1270, and it comes down behind the edge, best I can tell, which is not scientific. .0165, and at the tip, .0240. And the handle, I'm guessing, is going to come in under 1/2, .4640. So for me, guys, that is a very light, small, yet very able blade size. I think it's a very capable one and done carry package. I think we're going to see it's going to come in at 3 1/4 inches on the blade. Comes in 3.75 ounces, maybe just a smidge over an inch an ounce. But to me, that does not matter at all because, again, the knife feels comfortable. It goes in and out of pocket like a dream. It's comfortable in the hand. It looks very neutral. It's very stealthy the way it deploys. I love the fact that the blade is not super tall to still get that nice hollow grind. And then again, that point I didn't show you. But if you look at just the bite of this point, I don't want to roll it out of the cut. I just want to show you that it's very, very sharp. And then, of course, that flat I turned my cut too far. But very, very slicey. Neat, neat knife. It's going to be available this Friday. This video will probably come out Thursday or Friday, this overview on this knife. I've had the Gen 1 for about a year. I can tell you that the internal mechanism feels refined in the Run 2. I know that the blade, even though this blade had very little side to side, this one feels tighter. I don't know why that is. It could just be the one that I'm trying out. But I'm a big believer in this knife. I've kept it. I love it. When I saw that it was coming out in a Bowie, as soon as I get to the point to where I'm bringing in revenue again, I will run one of these down because it has a place in my collection, because I love EMP EDC. I love their out the fronts, and this Bowie blade to me is just next level sexy. I don't know why. Everybody gets spoken to by different knives. This knife really speaks to me. I think it is sexy. I think John is always thinking outside of the box. What I love about it is I've never seen a knife that I'm aware of that looks like that has that profile. His designs, from the nimble to the thick boy to everything I think I've seen him design, have to me seemed truly original. But guys, huge fan. Really wanted to show this off before it dropped because I have a feeling they'll go quick. Going to go for right around $270 in Magnacut, heat treated 6364. I think it's OEM by Best Tech. Don't hold me to it. I'll put all the information I can get off EMP EDC's website in the description. I hope y'all get a chance to check it out. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the content. All I ask is please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your hearts and choose debate, not hate. I love you all.